Everyone, I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees for October 27th, 2021, 6:33. If I could please ask Dave Holston from St. Paul's United Church of Christ to come up for the invocation.
Good evening. How exciting is it to see all these young people here tonight? Isn't that a wonderful thing? Would you pray with me, please? Lord, we come before you tonight in total humility. We're grateful for all the blessings that you have given to each of us, to our community, to our churches, to all the families that are here in this community. We're grateful, Lord, that we have an opportunity to serve you in so many different ways. There is only one God. There's only one Lord. There's only one Son and only one Holy Spirit. And Lord, we're grateful that we serve in a community that practices community with each other. Be with our trustees tonight and our mayor and the other people involved with the community governance, and guide them in the direction you'd have us to go, that we may honor you and serve you in everything we do. Be with those who speak tonight and watch over their words as well as their thoughts. Let us come together and work together so that we may also worship together. We pray that you would be with those that are not here because of illness, with those who might have illnesses that we don't even know about tonight. Lord, you know those in the deepness of your soul. We pray that you would be with each and every one of us tonight and tomorrow and moving forward as we celebrate the reason for this year and the reason for the season. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. If I could ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn? Trustee Razik? Trustee Rakes?
Present.
Trustee Wilson?
Present.
Trustee Udris?
Present.
Thank you. Open to the public, agenda items only, please. Okay. We'll move on to the consent agenda. If I can please have a motion to accept.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you. Clerk's report, Donisha.
Thank you, Mayor Bogues. I have a couple things today. One, I have my report from the last meeting. So just giving information, the newly elected OMA Open Meetings Act training that the newly elected officials are supposed to take within 90 days of taking office. I haven't pressed that issue only because of the fact that the Attorney General's office has been down. Their website has been down since early spring due to hacking. However, it is actually available on the IML website, and you can go to it by www.iml.org. Once there, click on Education Resources, and you can watch a 35-minute video, which is actually pretty good. Once you do that, you can print out your certification there, and then if you can provide it to myself and Deputy Clerk Powell, just so we can have it on record. Also, at the time, I was trying to give an update on the Orchard Trail. I know that at the September 27th meeting, I'd let everyone know that I had someone who was going to look into the information, and I did coincide with Superintendent Ed at the time and got a list from him, a checklist of things that needed to be done, forwarded over, and they were able to get right on it. So they did say if there's anything else that comes up and you guys need anything at all, they're not doing what they're supposed to, let them know, and they'll take care of it. Also, with the IML conference, a few of us were really, were excited to be able to take part in that. And those that either attended or were not able to attend, if you would like to have the materials, if you didn't receive the email, then of course you can do so. I can send it over to you, or you can go on the Illinois Municipal League website and click under their educational resources, and it's there, the IML Annual Conference Program. It's in PDF form. Additionally, I know I was absent from the last board meeting, and as mentioned, the week of October 10th through the 15th, I attended the Institute, the Municipal Clerks Institute, and that was in Bloomington. And so I'm happy to announce that I have completed my 3rd year of Institute. I graduated, yay! Thank you. And so I have completed 120 plus hours of classroom time, as well as 40 plus hours for that week alone. And also, I mean, it was very informational, and I've gotten a lot of information updates on laws and things that we'll be able to bring back and update everyone with. I now just have to complete my 5,000 page paper, and then after that, I'll receive my registered and my certified municipal clerk's award status. Last thing, I take my dog to Bark and Bath and get him groomed. And Lisa Dow, the owner there, she said that you guys can bring Cap anytime for free grooming. End of report.
Thank you.
Can I address something? Denisha, if you remember, back in June, you had sent me the information for the workshop, and I set that up for June 12th. And I ended up in the hospital June 8th and was still in the hospital at that point for June 12th. And then I asked you, when I seen you in Ruben's office, to resend me that information. I have not received an email. I don't know if you ever sent it, but I have not received an email for that. But I just want it to be clear, I just learned today that we had like 90 days to complete that. No one made me aware of that or the mayor aware of that. So if there's any moving forward, if there's any deadlines for anything that we're supposed to take care of, please bring that to our attention so that we can get it done.
I appreciate you addressing that. And that's why I was mentioning that I did not press the issue, because there was no way for you guys to take it prior.
Right, because Ruben, I had spoken to Ruben as well, and he said that the website was down, and as soon as it was up and running, he would let me know. And
It's still down.
I know, I confirmed that today with him, it is still down. So I just want you to understand, it wasn't something we neglected to do.
No,
It's, you know,
I'm aware.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was just letting everyone else know.
Okay.
That, yeah, I'm aware, but that's why I didn't press the issue, because it was
Now, the
down.
mayor has taken the workshop. I haven't, but she has. She
Now,
was
the
able to
workshop-
complete that.
The newly elected officials workshop is different from the OMA training. So
Okay.
that one that I signed you up for, that was different.
Okay,
This is
so
something
then-
that just everyone
then-
else has to take.
Please, whatever it is that I have to be in compliance, please send that to
Absolutely.
me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'll forward over, like I said, even though I mentioned it in the report, I'll forward this information so you can have that too.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, this evening, under my report, what I would like to tell everybody is that I had the pleasure, my husband, myself, several Monee residents, a few police officers, trustees, Scott, Michael, Liz. We, Friday night, the 22nd, attended the Protecting Canine Heroes Bash for the Blue and Camo 2. And this is put on by the same organization that donated caps, ballistic vest, and the Narcan kit. And it was really a very, very fun time. So we really enjoyed it. With that, their purpose is fundraising so that they can continue to do the job that they do with supplying these canine officers with what they need. So present with us that evening was Adam Aldworth, who is the manager of Gina's Motorsports. So if I could ask him to come up, he's got a presentation he would like for the police department, to make for the police department. So feel free, Adam, to tell him all about how this happened, because I missed it all.
Yeah, thanks. First of all, I'm not good at this. I mean, not the purpose of getting recognized for getting this. I went out to get something for the police department because you guys go out, put your lives on the line every day for us. So show a little appreciation, give it back. There was 2 big prizes, or raffles, I should say, to purchase 2 amazing pictures, one with a dog on it and one with the police officer. And I went for both. I only got one. But today I would like to donate this to the Monee Police Department for you guys.
That's good size.
We'll have to take something off the wall.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
No problem.
I think I taped it upside down.
Very nice.
That's for you guys.
Thank you.
No problem.
And Gina's, that's a beautiful picture, and it will go in a prominent place at the PD. Thank all of you that went over to the K-9 supporters and participated. That's a great group, and they've done a great service to this community by purchasing that ballistic vest for Cap. So we're speechless. Thank you very much.
No problem.
So he paints them upside down. He has the canvas upside down. He paints it, and then he flips it over. I missed it all. I don't know what I was doing, but. Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah, so it's.
Oh, I thought you said the color.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. And Michael. Thank you, Michael. All right, I'd like to move on to the administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item under my report is a presentation by Second Place Church. Pastors Joe DeCenzo and Dave Short. And if you guys are ready.
I think they can all come up here. We've got 4 of us who will be presenting. Thank you for having us tonight. My name is Joe DeCenzo. Along with me is Pastor Dave Short and architect Aaron McCotis and our food pantry director, Kelly Detloff.
Excuse me. Can you set the mic up and make sure it's on so that we can hear, please?
Yeah, want me to set up here?
That'll work. Thank you.
Yeah, it's green. Is
Yeah,
that
it's
good?
on. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, we do actually have a packet for you that includes all the information that we are presenting today. However, you don't get that until the end. We're going to read our stuff because we want to respect the time. And if you got 2 pastors, we could go for hours. All right. So in 2010, we started Second Place Church in Monee, knowing that the church is not about the building, but it's all about the people. In order to make a positive difference in people's lives and offer true hope to them, we knew that finding ways to creatively be the church would be our story. Jesus brought a message of hope, promising life and life more abundant than we could imagine. And Second Place has always prayed for opportunities to bring life to the community it's in. And as part of the Monee Alliance of Churches, we all know that different expressions are what's needed, and a cookie-cutter approach doesn't work to ministry, and it doesn't honor the uniqueness of Monee and the potential it has. We believe that there are ways of being the church that haven't been invented yet. We have always sought to honor the place where we have been planted and do the work of figuring out how to bless Monee. For years, we've noticed this building located at the corner of Main and Oak Streets and dreamed about what it could be. And so when we had the opportunity to purchase the building, which is the former Brockmeyer grocery store, it made total sense to make it happen. And so then we really started to dream. So I need to get our presentation going here. Let's see if we can get that up here. And so we kind of call this Renewing Community at 5430 West Main Street. You guys all know the building. It's the one on the right. The one on the left is no longer there. And so here's the vision. A unique multi-purpose gathering space in a fully renovated building on the corner of Main and Oak Street, which becomes a destination for the community and a catalyst for the renewal of the Monee Historic District. Now, before we dive into the project, you kind of got to know who's behind this idea. And we call it the ecosystem. And quickly, to explain that, for the past 12 years, Second Place has been working to bring heaven to earth by offering hope and spiritual development opportunities to basically anyone who would listen. We founded Second Place on the idea that church is not about the building, but about how faith and life intersect in real, tangible ways. Out of that idea, we created the ecosystem as a way for the gospel to be expressed. In 2016, we started Provision Lab as an organization designed to create sustainable support to the community. In 2017, we started Historia Coffee as our informal coffee bar to create opportunities for community and conversation to happen in our congregation on the weekends. In 2018, we started Natural Discovery as a non-traditional childcare center, which has evolved into a co-op that takes a creative approach to learning through nature and being outside while partnering with homeschooling families. This unique combination of organizations has slowly become a part of the fabric of Monee at varying levels. This all came from the Lord's Prayer to see God's kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. So the ecosystem is led by a few people you may recognize. So myself, I'm a resident of Monee for 19 years, lead pastor at Second Place. I'm currently the president of Provision Lab, and I work to keep the ecosystem connected and working together for the good of the community. My wife, Sarah, who's actually teaching kids at Awana tonight, along with Kathy and Kevin DeVries at Monee Free. She's the director of Natural Discovery. In that role, she champions the reality that every child is unique and is intelligent in their own way. She also works to strategically connect the ecosystem together to make the greatest impact in Monee. And Dave Short, many of you already know, a resident of Monee for 22 years and one of the pastors at Second Place, helps direct the community development initiatives at Provision Lab. Dave is our lead networker, connecting anyone and everyone to the vision of doing good in the community, and I'm sure you all have felt that force. Kelly Detlaff. Kelly has led the Provision Lab food pantry for several years, from offering groceries at our old warehouse location to a brief season at Camp Manitoqua to our current location next to Brian's Restaurant. Kelly has brought her heart and soul to the work of providing help to those who need it. She believes in the value and dignity of each individual. Now, for a project like this, we are not building experts, but we do, in a really incredible way, have a cool network of people within the ecosystem, a combination of individuals with diverse experience to steer the Main Street renovation. All these individuals are professionals who also attend Second Place. Danielle Kabalewski, who can't be here tonight because she's traveling, works for Terra Engineering and has, I think, for the last 12 years. Danielle leads the steering committee and brings the civil engineering connections to the project. Danielle's influence is felt in all the material we will share with you tonight. Aaron Makotis, who's right behind me, he's our lead architect, a former resident of Monee. Aaron is a licensed architect with 9 years of experience and is providing the architectural vision and work to the project. You'll get to see some of his efforts in just a few minutes. Tom Bailey is our plumbing engineer. Tom brings 35 years of experience to the project. Jesse Clow, a Monee resident, is our construction lead. Jesse owns Higher Standard Home Inspections and provides insight into the renovation process. And Jeremiah DeCenzo. Jeremiah is a recent graduate of Olivet with a double major in business and ministry, and he also leads our student group, which has been a part of dreaming about this project from the early Historia days at the warehouse, many of whom you will see behind me. And Jeremiah's right there if you want to wave. There he is. So that's kind of the lay of the land. What we'd like to do now is just have Dave come up and talk a little bit about what our plans look like.
All right, thanks, Joe, for the earlier introduction. And I don't know where you got that picture. Burn that. Oh, no. It is a total honor to be here. And as mentioned, in 2016, Second Place launched a charitable nonprofit called Provision Lab. And working hand in hand with the Monee Alliance of Churches, social agencies, local businesses, and the village, we launched our annual Love Monee event in 2017, providing clothes, food, haircuts, jobs, cleanup, medical and dental services. And we've mobilized several hundred volunteers who have clocked in thousands of community service hours in our community. However, any accomplishments we've achieved is because we lean heavily on the community, its leaders, and those who serve and protect it. And that is why collaboration is not just a great idea, it's the best idea. And it's one of our standards, internally and externally. Every real solution to any problem is more efficient when we all work together. Once we begin collaborating to enact effective solutions, we begin to see lasting change. We currently run a food pantry on Governor's Highway by the liquor store and Brian's Restaurant here in Monee called Action Love. And with your help, the services we provide there will go to a whole new level at the Main Street location. And to explain this a little further, I'd like to introduce the director of our pantry, Kelly Detlef.
Can you hear me? Is that good? Okay, thank you. So our current food pantry runs on the first and third Tuesday every month, like Dave said, in our cozy space. Over the past 2.5 years, we have served over 5,000 families, which is an awesome amount. Our vision for the new pantry is to offer our friends a general store environment. We feel that having our shelves, our refrigerators, freezers stocked with a variety of food will allow our shoppers the choice of what they can bring home. Allowing our friends the ability to select their own food provides not only a dignified experience for the individual, but it also reduces excess waste. Not only will we have this new opportunity for our people, we will still be able to offer them pre-packed boxes if that's what they prefer. We are very excited to have this new space and the privilege to honor and respect our clients at our new Action Love Pantry location. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Appreciate you. In regards to utilizing the space, we want to launch a couple strategic initiatives out of the Main Street location. One is partnering with CAP America to provide free professional credit counseling services for anyone trapped by debt, poverty, and its causes. We will offer people financial tools, create debt management plans to pay down their debt, help individuals obtain home ownership for the first time maybe, and to understand bankruptcy options. The second initiative pertains to justice. Currently, there is one legal aid attorney for every 10,000 people in poverty. 80% of those with legal needs have no access to legal assistance. In collaboration with the organization Administer Justice, we want to provide pro bono legal services out of the Main Street Pantry for those who cannot afford an attorney. And I've already had some attorneys say they'd like to be a part of this. I absolutely believe when there is a desire for change mixed with passionate people willing to execute, and with the support of benevolent organizations, the possibilities of change in our community for good is endless. And so we appreciate the opportunity to be able to present our plan tonight.
So we're going to get to the building in a second. We're kind of talking what's in the building, and I'll continue with that. So if you imagine, if you've seen the Main Street building, if not, you'll see it in a second. You know, the back is kind of a garage, and that's kind of where we envision the food pantry. And the front is that storefront. And we really feel like a coffee house would be great, a little coffee shop. And so here's what we're thinking. As the community is getting support in the rear part of the building, we envision a coffee shop where the entire community can connect and stories can continue to overlap. Historia is the name that we came up with. It actually comes from ancient Greek and Latin for the word history, or an account of the events of a person's life. The vision of Historia is to create a place where individuals can share their stories and learn the stories of others. Now, priority is given to brewing high quality, fair trade gourmet coffee, and I'm sure everyone can amen to that. The stories of the coffee farmers weave into the stories of the customers with each transaction. What started as a coffee bar within the walls of the Second Place warehouse, and this is just a picture of kind of what it looked like back then, Historia created space for good coffee, good conversations, and opportunities to do good, both locally and around the globe. In addition to our weekend selection of cold brew and hot coffee, Historia offered periodic working together days that provided those working from home and students a comfortable environment to work in while being in community with others. And of course, there was also tasty coffee to keep attendees fueled for their tasks. In the 3 years that Historia served out of a brick and mortar building, stories were shared, a sustainable monetary model was developed, and we were able to support projects in Kenya and Haiti. Part of Historia includes a pay-it-forward model, where customers can actually pay for a cup of coffee in advance for a stranger. This opens the door for people that need a little generosity to come participate in what's happening in Monee. Ultimately, we hope to inspire everyone to see that we are all part of one story and we each have a role to play in it. Our vision is to see Historia operate in an independent, sustainable way to continue to do good and create space for connections to happen. And we believe Main Street captures this vision and moves it forward. So if you imagine the moment you drive up, ride up on your bike, or walk up, the building is going to welcome you with some outdoor seating. This will become a much-needed, cozy, inviting destination in Monee. For those that work from home, need a place to study, or simply somewhere to meet up with a friend, we want to provide a space that meets the needs of the community. The design of the space, and this is kind of a sample photo, the design of the space creates a feeling of being home while still being a versatile environment that can host everything from small gatherings to intimate one-on-one conversations. Imagine live music, open mic poetry, spoken word, and other artistic expressions, all within a casual, relaxed environment designed to slow life down and slow time down in a way so you can take a deep breath and share a moment with friends. We would love to work with the Monee Historical Society to preserve the history of this location with photographs and drawings in the updated interior space. We also want to make the room feel relevant to the lives of the people in the community, creating a space that makes people want to spend time in Monee. And then we also feel that the versatile design of the space, we imagine the room to be rented out by local businesses and organizations that are looking for a place to gather for small events and meetings. With the addition of a small commercial kitchen, groups have the ability to cater meals and host a professional event in a unique, cozy space. If we talk about Oak and Main, you guys are familiar with that intersection. We have, this is not Oak and Main currently, just so you know. This is just a concept idea. I forget what town this is. Do you know? We don't know. All right, we're good. A beautifully renovated building on the corner of Oak and Main will kick off one of the gateways to the renewed historic district that the village has already set forth in their comprehensive plan. This building is situated on a strategic corner of the village as one of the first things people will see when coming east on Main. We envision a mural on the west side of the building to make this corner eye-catching and just cool, for taking pictures. As the village works to unite the community through the historic district and streetscapes, we want to be the catalyst that sets the tone for what Main Street can be. And aesthetically, we want the building to be consistent with the vision for the historic district while creating a relevant functionality to the exterior. Last thought, just dreaming a little bit more. With Oak being a one-way street, this could create opportunities to periodically close the street for outdoor events such as concerts and open-air markets and neighborhood block parties. This creates a more walkable downtown area for Monee and would encourage more foot traffic through town. The proposed mural on the west-facing wall could be a great photo spot for young and old and bring some art to the neighborhood. This is also a way to blend the old with the new as we embrace local artists and members of the community that want to be a part of what is happening now while still honoring the past of Monee. So finally, we're going to have Aaron just talk us through some of the building plans and kind of what we're envisioning there.
Hey, I'm Aaron Makotis, the project architect. So now that our team has talked about what the components are that will go in our vision space, I wanted to share with you a little bit of where they can fit together inside of the space. So here we are showing a proposed demo plan along with the new plan here on the right. In the Plan North area, the red shaded space is a provision lab food pantry. At 1,100 square feet, that more than doubles our existing capacity, which will allow us to do a lot more to serve our community. In that food pantry area, we're also proposing bringing back the 3 garage doors so that we can open up that space to a lot of natural light and allow a merging of inside and outside, welcome people in, and also for people who are still looking for boxes to be run into their cars, allows easy access that way, and also provides a great opportunity for the street events that Joe had suggested earlier. To plan south, the yellow highlighted area is the multi-purpose space that we're envisioning for Historia. That would be used for coffee shop, for small events and gatherings, as well as one-on-one meetings. And then the blue spaces in the center there are really going to be the shared components between the two primary tenants. So we're proposing a new vestibule off in the center there for a shared entry, large enough to get people inside the building and direct them to the appropriate half. Off of the vestibule, we're also planning on putting an office in there for private one-on-one meetings for confidential conversations, like with lawyers, etc. Also a place for lockable file storage and administrative day-to-day work. And then, I also forgot to mention in the yellow space, we're also showing a kitchen off of there to allow easier access for catering for events. And then finally, in the blue area, we're also proposing 2 accessible toilets because the food pantry and the coffee shop are at different levels on the street. It provides a little bit of a challenge for accessibility. So what we're proposing is having an accessible toilet on each of the 2 levels, as well as providing a accessible wheelchair lift to get our clients of all levels of mobility inside all of the spaces. On the second floor here, what we're planning on doing is streamlining the 2 apartments up top to be more of a modern and more functional space than they are currently, with a large open combined living and kitchen area, and 2 bedrooms and a bath for each of those units. So this would be an opportunity to provide something modern and affordable housing right in the heart of the Monee Historic District. So our plan there is to keep a lot of the existing historic elements where we can, like the wood floors, the original moldings, and the large windows to let in all that natural light. Now the moment we've all been waiting for is our proposal of the street presence that this building could have. So the first thing that you'll notice is the large brightly colored mural off of Oak Street that gently wraps around the corner. The intent here is to be something to catch your eye and draw people into the community, into the area, express our love for the community, and also provide an interactive moment for social media, pictures, or just photography in general. You can see in the back there the provision lab space with the 3 garage doors that could all be opened up and expand out into the street. Because we have a challenge getting in the changes of grade between the provision lab space and the coffee shop, what we're proposing is a wide, gently sloping ramp from the corner of the vestibule to the corner off of Main Street to allow people with wheelchairs easy access into both of those spaces from the outside as well. Off the Main Street, the new main entrance, what we're planning on doing is bringing back as many of the historic type elements that we can, bringing back more of the wood storefront kind of look to it, and the inset vestibule to draw people inside. And then on the Main Street streetscape side, what we're doing here is providing some tiered seating in addition to just traditional staircase right off of the main entrance to bring people in. So our hope here is that you can see our vision where we're bringing as many people as possible out into the corner here and enjoying the Village of Monee from the street and bringing them in. So from there, I'll move over onto the budget. As Dave's passing that out, I'll just briefly highlight the budget we've put together. This is based off of both mine, Danielle's, and Tom's experience as professionals working with buildings of this size and in this condition and age. So there's a lot going on in this building here, and so we've broken it down into different components to make it easier to kind of see what we're doing. We've got soft costs, we've got construction, equipment, and budget there. And then on the right, we're breaking that down into what, based on our research, would be either TIF eligible or eligible from the American Recovery Act. So the bottom line that we're looking at here is about $800,000 for the total budget. From the TIF eligible funds, based on our research, it looks about $630,000 and about $70,000 in American Recovery Act. Just wanted to point out that this is a good faith estimate, not based off of hard bids, but just based on our experience. Our our plan here is that these numbers are not to exceed numbers. So that means we've got contingencies built in here for all the unknowns that we're bound to experience and run into for a project of this size and scope. And with that, I'll take it over to Q&A.
Well, that was a lot to take in. Oh, that's exciting to see, though. I appreciate you presenting it before the board. I'm excited, so I don't have any specific questions right now, but I'm sure I will.
And I too, usually am not at a loss for words, but I have one. Brilliant. Thank you.
I think something that's much needed in this community. I think it'd be exciting, so.
I just had an idea when you were talking about the local artist and them painting the murals on the building, or you painting murals on the building. I think it might be nice and less expensive on your part if maybe you did an annual contest and let the local artists go there and paint the murals, and then, I don't know, maybe we do a little fundraiser where they get $1,000 or something for the winner, and then their art stays up for a year, and then the next year we just paint it all white and give them a brand new canvas and start over.
Welcome to the rabbit hole of ideas that this building offers. They just are endless. That's a great idea.
I just think that, you're talking about bringing the community together. What better way? And you've got all these young kids here tonight, which I'm happy to see a full house. That's beautiful.
They haven't made a noise at all. You guys can make a noise. It's the most behaved I've ever seen them.
And I just think that might be something, just think about it. I mean, it just might be a good idea. And I think what you're doing is amazing. So, thank you.
In a neighboring community, they have done some, I guess, maybe pre-work for you too in that. So I don't know that if you've been to the Edge too, that they even have like the kids have an art gallery and things too. So big shoes to fill for that one, but this is just brilliant, brilliant.
Oh, and for the Historia coffee, I am a coffee freak. I will be there all the time.
Donuts, yes, absolutely, absolutely. If you know my wife, she loves them, so yeah, they have to be there.
So I would just like to say on behalf of our leadership team and our steering committee, thank you for giving us the honor of just even giving this presentation. And we sincerely thank you. And so if there's not any more questions, thoughts, I'd like to ask the trustees to please consider moving into an agreement between Second Place Church and the village to help us fulfill the plans that we've presented to you this evening. And with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Second Place team. Awesome. Good job. Thank you for sharing your vision, your hard work, and your dreams with us. So in light of the presentation, we would respectfully request a motion to approve Attorney Krzyzewski and myself to work and proceed towards developing a drafted agreement to present to the board at the next meeting in November for your review and consideration.
I will
make that motion. Sorry. I will second it.
I'm sorry, just to do this, Larry, wouldn't we have to do a consensus because it's not action to be taken on here?
I just do it through a roll call.
Okay, so,
I just do a roll call because I'm authorized to draft a motion to read it on.
okay. Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, board. Thank you. Thank you, Second Place.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next item under my report is a traffic impact study, professional service agreement with White and Company. As the village continues to experience economic growth, one of the areas that has been impacted in the Manhattan-Monee-Ridgeland corridor. Over the past few years, the village has met with Will County Department of Transportation, Will County officials, Amazon Management, and potential land developers. Much of these discussions address growing concerns over the increasing traffic volume at these locations. In a recent meeting with Will County DOT, the Manhattan-Monee Road Widening Project, which has an anticipated start date of 2026 and 27, was discussed. The village conveyed its concerns over the current traffic numbers and requested that the road widening project be moved to a much closer start date. One key component needed to continue this discussion would be a traffic impact study to confirm growing traffic counts. Therefore, village staff would request White and Associates to conduct a traffic impact study in the Manhattan-Monee-Ridgeland corridor. White and Associates proposes to provide this study in the amount of $8,350.00. Additionally, $1,600.00 budgeted for reimbursable expense. The scope of services would include crash data, baseline 2021 traffic, Will County DOT's Phase 1 study, a projected interim 2026 traffic count, traffic impact study for current development, projected 2050 traffic counts, technical memo, a meeting coordination, and project management. The board action requested tonight is a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the professional services contract with White and Associates in the amount of $8,350.00.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Just a question. I know that Ruben and I talked a little bit about this too, and to do a traffic study now that, especially as we anticipate a lot of growth in there in the next few years then too, that we have the opportunity to do a recount of, this traffic study and, as I said, more than a 12-hour traffic study one time, because we know, especially in that corridor, between shift change and holiday things, it definitely can change monumentally even in a day.
Yes, Trustee Gonzalez, that is correct. It would be over a few weeks. This study would be conducted with numerous visits to the impacted area.
Any other questions? Could I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next board action request is a motion to approve the payment of any project expenses not to exceed $1,600.00.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. The last item under my report is an update on the Mccorkle road surfacing project. And I am going to ask Public Works Superintendent Ed Johnson to stand and be heard. There's a lot going on, and we have a few changes, but everything is in motion, and if you could just...
Good evening, everybody. Just a quick update. The Mccorkle subdivision roadwork, the grinding was originally scheduled to be done this morning. There's a lot of moving parts with this project, particularly in this area we're taking off both layers of asphalt going all the way down to the stone base. And because of that, our engineers and the contractors are concerned about leaving that aggregate base exposed to the elements for any extended period of time, and not to mention the increased inconvenience to the residents. So at this point, we are tentatively scheduled for that to resume on Monday. We needed to have 2 consecutive days of good weather where we can grind and mill the first day, get back in the first thing the next morning, and get down at least the first layer of asphalt to protect that aggregate base. That's about where we're at Monday. We are tentative. We have not gotten confirmation from the contractor yet. We're expecting a go or no go tomorrow afternoon by the end of the day. So that way we can prepare on Friday for any notifications that we have to do to make our residents aware of what's going on. But that's the plan at this point, is to go Monday morning, assuming the weather cooperates. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you. So we just want to thank the residents in this area that's impacted. Just thank you for your patience and your understanding. There is parking available alongside the park building during this time for any residents that have to relocate their vehicles. As Superintendent noted, we are going door to door and trying to keep everyone appraised and making sure it's also updated on our website. With that, it is the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the officials' reports. Public Works, Ed, do you have anything in Doug's absence, or? Okay, thank you. Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. Our report tonight, there's obviously a few things coming up this weekend that I wanted to make sure everybody knew. Friday, October 29th, this Friday, rain or shine at Fireman's Park Pavilion. Of course, we're going to do at 5 to 7 p.m. our Halloween happenings, costume contest, trunk or treat, goodie bags, free hot dogs while supply lasts. And a DJ with music, and provided it's not raining, we'll do a bonfire as well and hay rides. A lot of businesses are coming out to support the community event, and we thank them for coming as well. And just a little side note about the trunk or treat too, if anybody hasn't done that before, this is, and I kind of posted it last time, you're please invited to, dress up your car and let the kids come trick-or-treating at your car. And the Halloween house decorating contest has had 7 entries this year, but our judge noted that so many more should have participated in it because so many houses that were decorated this year. And the judging took place by the Parks and Rec Department, and third place, can I announce them? Third place is 4971 Augusta Boulevard. Yay! Second place is 25780 South Taft. And our first place winner, 5617 West Wilson Street. And these winners will be receiving gift cards for winning. And thanks to everyone who entered. And I hope that so many more participate and enter next year. And next, coming up is the Crosstown Exotics Traveling Pet Reptile and Bug Class that'll be held on Mondays starting November 8th. It's $50 for 4 weeks. And the return of our seniors' luncheons on November 17th and December 8th. The fee for each lunch for our seniors is $4, and please register at the Village Hall or Parks Building for that. And a couple things coming up in the community as well. This Saturday, the 30th of October, the Monee Women's Club Vendor Fair, our first live since 2019, was going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Brian's Place in the hall part. So shop local, shop small, come and participate, start your shopping early. These items are available that day and not stuck in a supply chain anywhere. And then continuing on, there's going to be a virtual vendor fair available online and on the website as well to shop virtually for the whole week too, if you can't make it to Brian's on Saturday morning. And Love in Action is hosting a mobile food truck on November 1st from 5 to 6:30 at the Gulf Vista Clubhouse. And the Chicago Southland Hanger event will be held on November 4th from 10 to 1 p.m. at the Victory Apostolic Church. And November 6th at St. Paul's Church at 9 a.m. is a Veterans Day ceremony and free breakfast. End of report.
Thank you. Finance, Trustee Rakes.
The village audit has begun and will continue for the next couple of weeks. Once completed, the report will be uploaded to the Illinois Comptroller's website as well as the village website. The village treasurer's report has been prepared and will be delivered to Will County on Friday, October 29th, 2021. In addition, The report will be available in the local newspaper per Illinois' revised statutes. The treasurer's report will be available on the village website in the next couple of days. The upcoming finance items. The village levy will need to be filed with the Will County Clerk's office on or before the second Tuesday in December. The village will set the meeting for the Joint Review Board meeting. The village will be filing its Grant Accountability and Transparency Act reports. The fiscal year of 2023 budgeting will begin. The tax incremental financing reports will be filed after the audit is complete. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on
You're
to
welcome.
Economic Development, Trustee Wilson.
Yes, Mayor. Economic Development Director Bill Barnes has actually hit the ground running, as we all knew. He's been staying very active and very busy. He's not here tonight. He had a already pre-scheduled vacation prior to coming in. No new business license applications have been distributed. Talks continue with Northern Builders and Seafried in reference commercial development on the west side of town. And just to recap things that we've already gone through, talks with Second Place and Terrell's Eat the Bone have begun in reference redevelopment. The village is looking to have a traffic study completed on Monee, Manhattan, Ridgeland corridor, which has been impacted tremendously by the economic growth that we're experiencing. The village website, be looking out for some modifications or changes as to the website to make it more streamlined and user-friendly. End of report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I start my report, one more community event that I wanted to mention. St. Paul's is going to have a veteran breakfast on November 6th. Believe it starts at 9 a.m. and this event is also open to the public, so everybody is invited to come out. From our emergency management, on October 21st and October 22nd, our EMA assisted at Public Works with traffic control and safety operations over on Sunset Drive while they did some crack sealing of the roadway. EMA will also be assisting in the near future for roads like Ridgeland Avenue and other roadways that experience high traffic and especially large truck traffic. Also from them, they have already taken delivery of the new truck that we just recently approved for them, and they've gotten right to work already, getting it ready to place in service as soon as possible. And from our police department, Monee is conducting interviews with written assessments on lateral applicants all week. A new lateral entry list will be posted online and at the Village Hall and at the police department early next week. End of report.
Great, thank you. Moving on to the Attorney's report, Larry.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 4 items for the board's consideration. The first item is a payout request from Terrell's Eat the Bone LLC. The board recalls we entered into a redevelopment agreement with Mr. Terrell in December of 2020. Agreed to pay Mr. Terrell, or Eat the Bone, $40,000. I believe Mr. Terrell's here tonight. I believe the payout request is $25,000 now. The remaining money will be due within 30 days. We would need those receipts, Mr. Terrell, though. I need the receipts to show that you paid out that, okay? So tonight, it is from a TIF too, I'm sorry. It's not GO, it's not corporate, it's from the TIF, and that TIF is financially is in good shape, but tonight is a request of $25,000 to Mr. Terrell.
Can I have a motion for that, please?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Any discussion on that?
So far, to this point, everything has been moving along the way that it should. We're up to speed. This is just to kind of help get to the finish line and get
Yes, sir.
them open, correct?
We still owe Mr. $15,000. Once he has moved in, we're asking for everything to be done within 30 days.
Okay.
When is the tentative move-in date, Mr. Terrell?
probably within 2 months at the latest, but we're shooting for first week of December to have it completely open.
Thank you.
Any other questions, discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, if we can table this is Tesca and Associates to do an initial feasibility study for additional land that might be coming into the village, to give the board a ballpark figure in order to do a TIF study. Just an initial analysis, I think, is like $5,000. In order to complete the entire TIF process, so you're probably talking $25,000 to $30,000. But this is just to see if it would qualify for TIF designation, but I don't have it in writing from Pete. He sent me an email. So there's no rush on this, but if we could table it to, was it November 17th?
Motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, just as an update, as Trustee Wilson indicated, with Northern Builders, I believe a draft has been presented to the board for a redevelopment agreement. A couple items that are still being reviewed are infrastructure needs, also traffic analysis, but most of the infrastructure, because if the board recalls, this is the property on Industrial in Cleveland. So the infrastructure has to be reviewed. And so we are hopeful that we'll have some type of agreement, final agreement for the board's consideration, November 17th. From a financial standpoint, nothing's changed. They committed the same amount of money. They have not increased their request, but it will be before, hopefully, a final vote at the next board meeting. Thank you, Mayor. As Trustee Wilson indicated too, with Seafried, this is the property that, if we believe comes into village, this is the property that Tesca would be evaluating to see if it qualifies for TIF. Because presently, this property, he would review this one and also Marty Burke's. Seafried is requesting 75%. They have not named the user. We told him that we were pretty close to an agreement, but he has not come back any further. And the real important thing with them, too, is that traffic study. We've asked 2 or 3 times for a traffic study. We got an email, myself and Ruben, probably 5 minutes before the meeting. They're going to have some questions for Chief Kerner about traffic at Ridgeland and Monee, Manhattan, but that's critical. So we will have a further update at the November 17th meeting. That's all I have there.
Thank you. Moving on to old business, discussion approval, read the ordinance amending Title 11, Chapter 6, Section 7 of the Village Code. This was tabled from the 10/13/2021 meeting. So I think we're back to, if we can have a motion for accepting that ordinance amend. That was regarding the fences.
You know, so
Before we discuss anything, we have to take it off the table, so we have to have a motion to take it off the table, please.
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
I'm going to make a motion to keep it tabled.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
second.
Okay, well, if you were trying to discuss it, in order to discuss it, you have to remove it to talk about it. Yes,
We have to untable it.
just so
to
you can talk
discuss
about it.
Right, to discuss, and then we can retable it if you.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll second that.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakis? Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to retable this until the November 17th meeting.
Okay. I have a second.
I'll second.
You didn't want any discussion on
Yeah,
anything?
and so, and this is why I'd like to retable it, and so this, I guess, could be the discussion is, because I know Romy brought it up and everything, but I wondered, I'd like to hear what planning and zoning has to say about this, because as we know that, obviously they are a recommending body to us, but I wondered if he had compared what the planning and zoning ordinances compared to this one and how that commission felt about this ordinance then too. So I think it's important that, P and Z usually recommends or not recommends, our fencing anyway kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I wondered if they had any discussion about it recently as well.
Okay, point taken, and Romy's not here to answer any questions, so, okay, fair enough. All right, so motion, well, you already motioned to table. Okay, roll call, please.
That was the first and the second. Wilson?
Mm-hmm.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any new business? Okay, moving on to open to the public non-agenda items. Anybody? All right. Next item is executive session, number 1, 820 ILCS 12-5, Section 5, collective bargaining, contract negotiation. Number 2, 5 ILCS 120/2C11, pending litigation. And item number 3, 5 ILCS 120/2C5, purchase or lease of real property. Can I please have a motion to go into executive session?
Make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
All right, reopen? Yep. Can I have a motion to reopen, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
All right. Item O, action to be taken regarding executive session matters, none tonight. So can I please have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?